Hello, I believe this is episode number 268 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. We are here for Monday, week 3 of July 2022, and we are on the Go Home show for King of the Ring and Evolution this Saturday. Yeah, we're going to find out who will be facing Cody Rhodes in the Raw final. It'll either be Xavier Woods or Finn Balor. We'll find out who will be facing Liv Morgan in the Queen's Crown Tournament final Evolution for Raw. It will either be Asuka or Alba Fire. We'll also be getting Goldberg and Big E face to face, and Alexa's special guest. You're not going to want to miss that segment. As well as a whole lot more shenanigans from your favourite Raw superstars, including the Anime Boys, including the Karrion Kross Cult, including Path of the Dragon, and a whole lot more. I don't actually think Titus World Records are on this week. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into the show. We start off with quite the ensemble of human beings on our screen, because this is the Big E and Goldberg face-to-face segment, and naturally Woods and Kofi are coming out with E. This is opening the show, and we're closing with the Rhea and Sonya contract signing. And Big E, Woods and Kofi come to the ring, and Big E's like, well, it's time, finally, Big E and Goldberg, big beady men in the ring together. And Goldberg, you know, there's been a dream match of mine. Hell, my ultimate dream match is us three, your boys, the New Day, against 3 Bill Goldbergs, but since that's not physically possible, one-on-one will have to do. So Goldberg, get your ass out here and we can settle this face-to-face. And Goldberg comes out. He's like, let me get one thing clear to you, Big E. I respect the hell out of you. Everything you've done as the World Heavyweight Champion. You won the Royal Rumble, and you won that at Wrestle Goddamn Mania. But let me make one thing clear about you, Big E. You made a mistake in calling me out. See, all I've done for the past 2 years is train for that inevitable call from Hunter or Steph or anybody here in WWE when they say, hey Bill, we need you. Turns out it wasn't one of those that gave me the call, E. It was you. Because you've got this dream of wrestling Goldberg. And you're gonna come true this Saturday at King of the Ring. Except your dream's gonna become your nightmare, Big E, when you figure out that you are next. And Woods is like, whoa, E. You gonna tolerate that? Goldberg said you're gonna be next. It's like, Kofi's like, you know, I think you should mess Goldberg up right now, let him know who's boss here, E. And Big E's like, no, boys, that won't be necessary. You see, the respect is a two-way street, Goldberg, and obviously I respect the hell out of you. That's why I picked you as my dream opponent here at King of the Ring. But you're finished, old man. And I'm gonna prove that to you this Saturday when I beat you, pin you 1, 2, 3, and retain my World Heavyweight Championship. The belt that you once held with such pride, such dominance, will be staying with Big E. The bodies hit the floor, then blasts out. As out come the Karrion Kross Cult. And he's, I hate to drop in uninvited. Who am I kidding? No, I don't. But something's gotta be started straight out here. Last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, R-Truth said I was Goldberg. I'm not Goldberg. I'm better than Goldberg. My streak is the greatest streak in history of professional wrestling. Goldberg is a fraud. And I'm Goldberg, and I'm the Carnage Champion. And Goldberg's like, well, nice to meet you, kid. And then Kross is like, no, you don't get to call me kid. How about me and my cult, we take you out right now and you won't even make it to King of the Ring. Nothing personal, kid. Get him. Then Carland runs into the ring. He jumps Goldberg, and then this New Day try and fight off Carland. The rest of the Karrion Kross Cult come in, and we get Cutler, Carcass, and Carland 3-on-1 assaulting Goldberg. But they are actually outnumbered. New Day fight him off, belly to bellies to Cutler from Big E. Kofi and Woods take out Carcass, spear to Carland, and then Karrion Kross is in the ring alone with the New Day and Goldberg. Big E hoists him up for the big ending. Like he gets Karrion Kross on his shoulders, and he's got him on his shoulder, but you can see Goldberg like lining up a super kick behind Big E. And then as Big E turns around with Kross on his shoulders, bang! He goes for the super kick. And he hits Karrion Kross, but he makes it look like he was trying to hit Big E. And Goldberg's like, "Yeah, I fucking gotcha, kid." And then he goes to spear Karrion. He waits for Karrion to get to his feet, and he's like, "I'm going to spear this kid." And then as Goldberg charges to spear Karrion Kross, Big E scoops him up, and he drops Goldberg with the big ending. And then he's like, you can fuck off out of here, Karrion Kross." And he's like, "You got lucky, kid." And then he leaves with the Colt. As Big E sort of waits for Goldberg to get to his feet, and he's like, "Got you there, boy." And Big E leaves the ring, and Goldberg sort of looks on like, fair play, respect, you got me. But that won't be the case at King of the Ring, he says. So, a little bit of tension, but ultimately, Big E and Goldberg come out still respecting each other, but Big E got the one up on him here tonight. We then go to ads. When we return, we're reminded that our good friend Veer Mahan, guess what he's doing? He's coming to Raw. Then we come back and Woods is still in the ring. Big E and Kofi have gone to the back, but Woods is still out here. And he says, "Look, E is getting his dream match as the World Heavyweight Champion at King of the Ring. Kofi Mania, who could ever forget that? And now it's time for me to live my dream. My dream is not to become World Champion like those two. My dream is not to wrestle Goldberg. My dream is to be King of the Ring, and that's going to come true this Saturday night. But first, I'm going to take out Finn Balor. And I told Ian Kofi I want to do this alone. I want to prove that I'm good enough to be the king all by myself." And then Finn comes out with the Balor Club. And he's like, "So honourable, so braided you, Xavier. You want to be the king all by yourself. You want to prove that you've got what it takes within you to be the king. You want to send your friends to the back. Well, turns out you may be courageous, but you might also be dumb, because Balor Club are going to be by my side, and they're going to watch me as I beat you and crush your dream. And I go on to King of the Ring to become the king. And I put Cody down as well. And Liv, doesn't matter who wins tonight between Alba Fyre and Asuka, she's going to win that Queen's Crown tournament. And once we've got the king and queen, that proves once and for all that we are the most dominant stable here on Monday Night Raw. William Regal, MVP, Path of the Dragon, all those people. I'm missing one. Oh, Hit Row. All those people can suck it, because we're the best faction here in WWE. Then we get the final quarter-final match from Raw to determine who will face Cody Rhodes in the Raw bracket final at King of the Ring. Woods tore his bicep. Excellent! Good job he lost anyway. Extreme injuries are doing my nutting. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I put this on screen. I probably would have, because waiting until here would be silly. But on SmackDown, I went on this massive tirade because Adam Cole got a concussion. And I was like, he's not really got super duper plans, but it's still annoying to lose him for a couple of months with a concussion, because I assumed the concussion would keep him out for like a couple of months, because a major concussion kept EO out for over a year. Turns out he was out for 3 days and he was working through it anyway, and he's literally already at 100%. So he won't be missing anything. It's almost as if he was never concussed. Anyway, Woods tears his bicep, and he'll probably be gone for longer. Cody tore a pec, which kept him out for like 6 to 9 months, and I think bicep is a little bit better than that. Anyway, 17:39 Fujiwara armbar, or Woods submits, so I guess he's got a torn bicep, so it would hurt. Finn gets an 89, and Woods gets an 87. And yeah, sucks to suck. Xavier Woods' dream is over. His body also failed him, though. Let's not let that slip by. And now Finn Balor is the one who will face Cody Rhodes in the Raw final of King of the Ring at King of the Ring. There'll be no Seth Rollins is in the SmackDown final. He'll either face Keith Lee or Braun Breaker in it. We'll find out who that is on Friday. Unless one of them gets injured, you know. MVP is watching that win backstage on a telly like a normal person. And he's like, you know, it's impressive. Finn, he's going to get to the semi-finals of King of the Ring. You know, Liv also in the semi-finals of the Queen's Crown, but that don't make him the most dominant faction here on Raw. The only reason he's in the semi-finals is because the almighty Bobby Lashley wasn't in the tournament. Because prime time Ronnie Hughes wasn't in the tournament. Because the colossal Bronson Reed wasn't in the tournament. Do you get what I'm saying here, Kevin? He's like, I do, yeah. It's like, well, unless Finn Balor's a little bitch, he'll send out one of those other boys, either Santos or Ridge, to the ring, because they're going to get their ass worked by the big bull Ronnie Hughes later on tonight. So MVP not having it, you know, because none of the Hurt Business were in King of the Ring. So it's like, well, if they were, then Finn wouldn't be getting to the semis. So it's fucking a bit rich that he says that he's gonna be the most dominant faction here on Raw if, you know, he didn't even get the chance to face the Hurt Business. Cody's training. We get a recap of, like, basically the promo from the Raw after Mania. A recap of his run through King of the Ring and why he needs to win and become the WWE Champion. But he is going to King of the Ring, we know that. He's going to face Finn Balor in the Raw final, and then the winner of that will face the SmackDown final winner in the Grand Final in the main event of the show. '83, decent rating here for a randomly thrown together tag team match. Based on the confrontation backstage last week, Path of the Dragon against Dragunov and Connors, Blitzkrieg. I guess the team is just Blitzkrieg now at this point, because the Blitzkrieg faction got absorbed into the Regal Coalition. But Path of the Dragon pick up the win. Humberto pins Connors with a moonsault. 87 for Dragunov did the best. Okay, fair enough. 85 for Humberto, 74 for Tozawa, and a 70 for Connors. Nicely done. And 83 for the overall match is pretty good. After the match, Regal is celebrating with his boys. He's like, you know, there's more damage to be done here. Pete Dunne and Dudley get into the ring. And they start laying into Humberto and Tozawa. Walter gets up and he's going to give them a big chop, but then Big Zergus steps over the top rope and he gets in Walter's face. And he sort of just growls at him. And Walter's ready to fight him. He's like, I'll fight the big dinosaur man. Takes his jacket off, they're ready to fight. And Regal's like, no, no, no. Leave it. Leave him be. Leave him be. Not tonight, Walter. Let's not waste our energy. And then the Regal Coalition back off from Zergus and Path of the Dragon. Hype for the Queen's Crown final. Video recapping Asuka's run to the final. Well, her match against Nova, I guess, is what she had. And Alba Fire's match against Naomi. And like why each woman wants to win. Only one can go to Evolution to face Liv Morgan in the Raw Queen's Crown final. Who will it be? And an 87 rated match. It's Asuka. She beats Alba. There's a lot of distraction here. It doesn't all tell the complete story. Basically, Julia runs out and Scarlett runs out because they still hate Asuka, you know, because Julia turned on her all that time ago. And it says Micah interfered against Alba Fire. That was just my way of getting Micah out there. She doesn't attack Alba and instigate her, so to speak. She just runs out and attacks Julia because that's who she hates. Scarlett can be knocked off by either of them, either or. And then the end of the match is clean and Asuka beats Alba Fire with a Asuka lock. 75 for Alba, 94 for Asuka. And also, after this segment, we will get it announced that Julia and Micah will go one-on-one at Evolution. But Asuka, it would have been a tag team match. The logical match was a tag team match between Scarlett and Micah against Asuka and Scarlett and Julia against Asuka and Micah, but Asuka's in the Queen's Crown, so she can't be in that match. So that match can't happen. So Scarlett's just gonna have to support Julia, I guess, or Sonya. Here's a pre-tape. Garza's out on the town. He's out in the bars. He's hitting on MILFs. You know, he's got Dixie to get him some drinks. He's trying to get the numbers of some MILFs that he wants to bed. And Dawkins looks like, yeah, sup, fam? how's it doing, buddy? Garza's like, no, he's not my friend, I don't know him. It's like, hey, fam, I see you're out on the town, like, 5 days before King of the Ring, fam. That's kind of a risk. You know, you wouldn't gonna get too wasted now, would you? See, me and Tez, when we go out, we can handle the smoke, you know? But you don't really seem like someone who can handle the smoke. And Garza's like, oh, I can handle the smoke. And Dawkins is like, well, yeah, prove it. And orders more rounds in. And Garza ends up trying to, you know, prove that he can handle the smoke. Has a bit too much. And in honor of the late great Vince McMahon, who would be looking down or up, depending on what your opinion is, on this show with a smile, as Garza vomits on one of the ladies because he couldn't have too much drink, and she slaps him and walks off. And Dawkins is watching, like, pulling his overly, like, expressive, shocked face, going, oh, fam, you really messed that one up. And then Garza goes to fight him, and then he's like, oh, no, fam, save that for Saturday, fam. So, one last fuck you from Angelo Dawkins to Angel Garza has cost him a date with some fine-ass elderly women. Well, not elderly, but mothers. Here we go! Speaking of mothers, Tatum Paxley comes out alongside Ivy Nile and the star of the show, Alexa Bliss. Because it's time for a moment of bliss. And she says, ladies and gentlemen, the future of Monday Night Raw will never be the same. We've seen many stars come and go on this show. We've seen The Rock, we've seen Steve Austin, we've seen The Undertaker, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. All of these legends of the business. And even more recently, you got John Cena, Randy Orton, Edge, Brock Lesnar, Alexa Bliss. The list goes on and on and on. But, well, maybe other than that last name, this may be the biggest star to ever step foot on Monday Night Raw, and he's doing so on a moment of bliss. This could be the biggest crossover superstar on the planet today. One of the most famous people in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our super special guest here tonight on a moment of bliss.
I came to play. There's a price to pay. Time for you to get down on your knees.
The Miz comes out. And he's like, oh my god, Alexa, you didn't have to do this. Like, I'm here every week. This is kind of my job. You see, I kind of hosted Miz TV last week, but I appreciate the introduction. I honestly couldn't have done it better myself. And believe me, I've tried to do it better myself. But I appreciate that. You may now leave and go back to doing your general manager duties and preparing for Revolution with your tag match. And leave the talking to moi. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know you're shocked to see me here because you thought, oh, The Miz, he can't possibly be this grandiose superstar that has been hyped up the arrival of. But believe it or not, they don't get any bigger than me, so I don't know why you should be surprised. See, when it comes to me being on Raw, nobody that can show up as a guest can be better than I am. Because I am the most must-see, not only WWE superstar in this roster, not only the most WWE superstar of all time, but most must-see star in general on planet Earth. And you're lucky that you're in the same arena as me, and that you live at the same time that The Miz is on top of the world. Rise up, little gang. Because obviously, The Miz was not who Alexa was hyping up. The Maverick himself, Mr. Logan Paul, is here. Newest WWE superstar. And he's like, Miz, all you do is run your goddamn mouth. You're a big star, don't get me wrong. No doubt about it, but you're not the biggest star in the world, dude. I'm not even hesitant to say I'm the biggest star in the world. Alexa may have oversold me, but I'm here to officially announce that I am the newest member of Monday Night Raw. And not only am I the newest member of Monday Night Raw, I'll be making my WWE in-ring debut at SummerSlam. Now, I trust Alexa, the GM, beautiful Alexa over there, to find me a worthy challenger for that night. Miz, it could be you. It could be you. And Miz like, hey, it could be me, could be me. You would love to get the rub from me, wouldn't you, Logan? Now, I'm going to go back there because you thought you stole my spotlight. I'm not giving you any more of my spotlight. Now, go out here and drown in front of this audience that clearly hates your guts. And then Miz walks to the back, and Logan is, of course, still getting booed. He's like, huh, okay, they fucking hate me. Like, cool. But of course, I had a challenge to bring in a celebrity semi-regularly, and with real-life events, there could be nobody else for it to be. It's gotta be Mr. Logang himself. And he's here, he's the newest member of Monday Night Raw, and he's making his in-ring debut at SummerSlam against an opponent to be decided. I'm sure you are ecstatic and over the moon for that. Oh, okay. In that match, the MVP hyped up earlier on, Santos Escobar is the one who steps up because I feel like he'd do a better job than Ridge at selling, like bumping around for Ronnie and making him look good. And I was right, apparently, because this match got an 82. And Ronnie beats him with a flash pounce, apparently. 70 for Ronnie and a 74 for Santos. And then, after the match, purposes are leaving, they're celebrating, going, yeah, what a big dub from Primetime Ronnie. Then the Regal Coalition's music hits. If you're keeping up with all of the interactions between these factions, they're all sort of, like, getting pissed off at each other. And Regal's like, congratulations, that sure was an impressive victory, that's a former Raw Tag Team Champion now. Established member of the WWE roster, you got an impressive win over here of a rookie like Ronnie, but I'm going to need you to get out of my ring right now before we make you leave, because our girl Florence is stepping into the WWE Raw ring for the second time, and we don't need any of your shenanigans out here, P. He's like, shut your dumb ass up, okay? We're leaving, but not because you said we were going to leave, okay? We're leaving because our business is done. Until next week. And if you don't watch your mouth, your business will be our business. Understood? And he was like, understood greatly. Now, please disperse. And then they do leave so we can get the Florence match. And she gets a 73 rated match. That's actually pretty good. She beats Ruby 8 minutes of a submission. 54 for Florence, 70 for Ruby. Yeah. 8. Yeah, that's just a good match for these ratings this time. Yeah, Florence is doing alright. Backstage segment, Sami. We didn't see him last week, but he's here again this week. And he's approached by Tyler Breeze. He's like, dude, like, I've been where you are. I've been down in the dumps. Felt like I could do nothing. But at the end of it, you've just gotta say screw it. I got my Wardon, I was locked in a psych ward for a couple of months, I stabbed my best friend in the back. All of it got me. Fame and championships and WrestleMania moments. There's something you're missing, Sami, and you've gotta take it from me. You gotta do something about it. And Sami's like, well, I will fucking take it from you because you're being a little bitch. Fight me next week. And Breeze is like, he looks at Wardon and he's like, you're on, Zayn. You've made a mistake challenging me to a fight. And he walks off. And Sami's like, yeah, bitch. Just a quick segment because I had time to fill, and it sets up a match for next week, which, just makes the flow of the show better and the build to next week's show better. Because now we actually know we've got something happening, Breeze versus Sami Zayn. We're now back in the castle. And the ghouls have been defeated. Sensei and the boys and girl are on their quest to reach the top and find the helper, I guess. Get Saray's pendant back. When they come to like a big halt, there's a crossroads. They can go left, they can go right, or they can go straight ahead. And Dio makes the smart decision. He's like, Sensei's the most established one of us here. So what if they go one direction by themselves? Manny goes with Saray because I guess I'm the biggest. So I can probably you two will need each other's help more. Sensei can go by themselves because they're like the smartest, and I'll go ahead because I'm the biggest target here. And if we ever need communication, we've got these things on our wrists. And Manny's like, whoa, where did that come from? We haven't had these the whole time, have we? And then Sensei just taps him on the shoulder. He's like, again, what did I tell you? Plot conveniences, my friend. Anyway, let's meet up wherever we find the stairs. And Dio is the one who finds the stairs. But it's being guarded by a big masked ghoul that may look familiar, but not actually, because I've never actually used that mask in this save before. And he's like, you shall not pass and help destroy the helper. Prepare to die. And Dio's like, guys, I think I found the stairs, but there's a big boy in the way. And then they all warp to Dio. And then Sensei's like, okay, guys, this is your first boss battle. This is going to be tougher. 3 of you, one of them, though, I reckon you can take him. Put all your training to hard work. Boss battle music kicks in. And we get a 3-on-1 handicap cinematic match, which our heroes do end up winning. Goliath takes a beating, even Sensei has to get involved eventually, but Goliath eventually does go down. 41 for Goliath, 50 for Saray, 75 for Dio, and a 59 for Manny. And with Goliath down, he just collapses to the floor. And now the pathway to the stairs is free. And obviously it's going to be like... There's only 2 floors, really. It's really tall tower, castle. There's only 2 floors. Only the ground floor and then the very top where the helper is. But the staircase is a big, long, like spiral stone staircase. So then we see them walk through the door slams behind them, and then we get a panoramic view of camera going all the way up, helpers at the top with a couple of masked people. And it's like, he hears one of them go, I hear Goliath fell. And then we can see the helper's face. We don't see his full face, we just see like his mouth, and we see he just grins. He's like, excellent. Prepare for their arrival. And then it fades to black. Then again, we fade to another match, but in reality, that anime battle wasn't an actual match, so it's fine. This looks like a nothing match, but I'll explain its purpose in a minute. And we're actually going to give the J-Flow girls a win here, because I feel like I've been jobbing them a lot. Marika, Mina, Mizuki, and Tam, because Maki is still out. They beat Smile and Shine and the Platinum Princesses. Marika pins Aaliyah with the machine gun drop. 61 for Skylar, 65 for Aaliyah, 65 for Kylie, 73 for Tegan, 64 for Tam, 62 for Mizuki, 71 for Mina, and a 55 for Marika. So, as has become, I believe, tradition for Evolution, I believe I did it last year, pre-show, Battle Royal, all the women that aren't on the booked on the show, winner gets a tag title match at SummerSlam with a partner of their choice. And obviously, these tag teams here are all going to be a part of that Battle Royal. So, yeah, this is just to hype that up. Path of the Dragon. Actually in good mood, So I was like, we finally scored one for the good guys, We got a big win tonight. And proved that all that training wasn't for nothing. We can actually celebrate tonight. And then, so I was like, how are we going to celebrate? And Zerg just growls, like, Urgh. And she's like, what did you say, bruh? And Humberto's like, I think he said he wants to go get Chinese. And I was like, okay. And then they turn and hit Roa there, like, oh, sorry, bruh. Like, we didn't see you there. We're just sort of surveying the landscape, Our names keep getting dragged into business we didn't know we were involved in. We thought we were done with Battle Club and all of them, but apparently our name keeps getting brought up. Which, I mean, we appreciate it, like, yeah, because we are like one of the top factions here on Raw, but we ain't got no business with you. They sort of just sort of back away from Bob the Dragon. So another strange interaction between a group here on Raw. That sure is interesting. Hey, there we go. I had faith that this match would bang. Based on their interactions the past 2 weeks, I'm not doing Ludwig and Riddle on the pay-per-view, so we're going to blub it off on TV. It's going to be a quick 3-week TV feud. Ludwig gets a huge win, though. He gets an 85 rated win, technically in the main event of Raw. It's not actually the main event because the main event is the contract signing, but the main event match of Raw. Ludwig wins. He wins in 12:54 with a Lotus lock, apparently. Riddle gets an 88 and a 77 for Ludwig. And I guess he keeps possession of Riddle's scooter because he won the match. So that's going up in his locker as well as the El Generico mask. And yeah, we then move on to the main event segment. No, we don't. We move on before we get to the main event segment. Big Mattress Inc. Pissed off Cameron Grimes is storming through. It's like, you're a bitch, I'm gonna sue you. Jiro's like, calm down. What appears to be the problem? Did the mattress not work? And Grimes like, yeah, did the mattress not work? No, it didn't work, you know? And you know it wasn't gonna work. You're selling me bum mattresses. Jiro's like, look, I've never had a problem with my mattresses before. Maybe you're just sleeping wrong. Grimes is like, what does that even mean, bruh? Like, just give me my money back. Like, I don't want your product anymore. And he's like, okay, I give you refund. And Grimes is like, oh, that sounds based. So hurry the fuck up then. And then he's like, well, on one condition. And he's like, what's that? He goes, you must beat me in a match. And he's like, okay. He's like, the only way to get a refund is to beat me in a match. A big mattress match. And Grimes is like, what on earth is a big mattress match? He goes, it's a big match. It's a wrestling match. But it takes place here in Big Mattress Inc. And Grimes sort of looks around. He's like, is that how all the beds got... Never mind. I'll kick your ass. And Jiro's like, great. We'll prepare the store. See you in a few weeks. Where we have the big mattress battle. If you win, you get a refund. And Grimes like, okay, that's based. He's like, I must warn you. I am undefeated in big mattress matches. And Grimes like, well, that won't be for long, bruh, because I'm going to beat you. So the long-awaited big mattress match has now been set up. Jiro versus Grimes. Big cinematic brawl in a mattress shop. Grimes wins, he gets his money back. Grimes doesn't win. Well, who knows? It feels fucking strange that I've actually said those words on video after all the talk and memeing I've done about it in Discord. But we are actually getting the big mattress match. Banger of a segment. Gets a 94. It's the contract signing. Jimmy Smith hosts it with Rhea and Sonya ahead of Evolution. And Jimmy's like, well, contract signing for the Raw Women's Championship, the main event of Evolution between Sonya Deville and Rhea Ripley. Please welcome out first the champion, Rhea. Out comes Rhea. And she, before Sonya even comes out, she sits down, just signs the contract and shoves it over to the side where Sonya's gonna sit. And Jimmy's like, well, okay, but we better bring out the challenger. Sonya comes out with Julia and Scarlett. Just those two. And Sonya's like, you know, I am going to sign this for you. There's no need for you to stress, but before I do, I must let you know a few things that you're way in over your head. You see, I'm starting to think the pressure of being champion is getting to you because I beat you on Raw a couple of weeks ago, and since then all you've really done is try and run and duck and hide from me. Maybe you've realised that the fans, they don't really see you at that level, and maybe you're starting to worry that maybe I'm better than you because I've been here before. This is your first rodeo as the Raw Women's Champion, and you're ducking me. And you signed that contract so quickly to try and hide the fact that you're scared of me and the grand jury. But I can see through you, Rhea. Because beneath this tough girl exterior, the spiky jacket, the metal theme music, I can see exactly what you are. As a scared little girl. Do you know what I do to scared little girls, Rhea? I take care of them. And me, Julia Scarlett, all of us will enjoy taking your Raw Women's Championship away from you at Evolution. And Rhea's like, scared little girl, you came out here to try and get in my head, did you? Well, it's not going to work, DeVille. The reason why you beat me a couple of weeks ago is because you had your little friends, and I was teaming with girls that I'd never teamed before. No disrespect to them, but, you know, obviously a well-oiled team is going to be better than 3 individuals. But, Sonya, nobody even remembers that you were the SmackDown Women's Champion. And nobody's going to even remember that you challenged me for this title come next week, when I beat you and I move on to SummerSlam to go and defend my championship against whoever the next top contender could be. But that's my guarantee, is that I will be the Raw Women's Champion come SummerSlam. And that means tossing you aside, fighting off your girls back there, and putting you down for the 1, 2, 3 and ending your little dream once and for all. So you go, it's funny. You're looking at SummerSlam and you think you're going to get to SummerSlam. Well, you won't even make it to Evolution. Julia and Scarlett jump Rhea. They start assaulting her. And Rhea tries to fight him off. Micah and Asuka run out to try and make the save. They throw the ladies down. But then the men of the grand jury run out through the crowd. Edge, Randy, Damian Priest and the Vikings. They don't beat up Asuka, Micah and Rhea, but they sort of just toss them to the floor to try and get their girls safe. The Fiend, Willow, and Susie are also in the ring, standing side by side with Rhea, Micah and Asuka against the grand jury. And then big brawl. Jimmy Smith rushes out of the ring, and just a massive brawl. We go off the air, everyone's still brawling, you know. The Fiend's taking it to both Vikings, Willow's taking it to Edge and Randy, Rhea, Micah and Asuka are taking it to Julia, Scarlett and Sonya. Just a big fucking brawl, chaos around ringside. Someone's going through the table. Probably one of the Vikings at the hands of the Fiend. Willow will give somebody a swanton through the table, probably Damian Priest. And just it doesn't get broken up. Road agents try and come out and break it up, but some of them get tossed to the floor as well. Susie just sort of sits on the top rope la 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 as all the chaos goes on around her. And we go off the air, just with everyone still brawling. Well, he will begin once we get this all under control. But what a chaotic ending to the show. Gets an 88 rating. And yeah, that's the final episode of Raw. I forgot to mention that there's going to be a big announcement on Heat regarding next week's episode of Monday Night Raw, which we'll get to on the other side of this. We start off Heat with the big announcement regarding next week's episode of Raw, and I guess Heat by extension. Alexa and Brandy are in the same office. Me and Brandy both came to one big conclusion. This has been a really stressful month so far, and it's the middle of summer, it's late July. We're on the road to the biggest party of the summer in August, in a month's time. So, what better way to celebrate than we need a beach break. Everybody needs a beach break. So next week, Monday Night Raw and Heat, I guess, as well, because it happens after Raw, are headed to the beach. Raw on the beach takes place next week. And I guess we know Breeze and Sami will be getting a beach break as well, because they're scheduled to compete against each other. Opening match is 2 unimportant people. I didn't expect to do well. I still needed to get Xia Li a win, because ideally the plan is for her to not be unimportant for too long, because she's part of one of my favourite acts on Raw. So she beats Zoe Stark. She gets a 46, Zoe gets a 47. And yeah, nice win for Xia. Candice is back doing her usual shtick on Heat. This time she faces Dani Luna. She's a little bit off her game, so this one's not as good. But Candice wins in 9 minutes with a moonsault press. 77 for Candice, 46 for Danny. And yeah, this show is just basically about giving people open matches to try and elevate them. Speaking of trying to elevate them, Shotzi's getting a women's title match at Evolution. And this is the first I've heard her speak since we saw her tank get destroyed on SmackDown. And she's pissed off. She's like, normally I'm the ballsy one. I'm, very boisterous, very outgoing, very carefree. But it's very rarely you see a very pissed off Shotzi. And you're getting that right now. She turns straight to the camera. She's like, Dakota, I know you just think you broke a fun little prop. You broke a fun little helmet. You don't know what these mean to me. And the fact that you just went around and destroyed my carefree property without a fucking care in the world. My property that means so much to me. That helmet I've had with me since day one of my wrestling career. Bitch, you better cling on to that title for dear life, because if that's the thing that means as much to you as those things did to me, then I don't just want to take that from you, I need to take that from you. As revenge for what you've put me through in these last 2 days. This was supposed to just be, a nice encounter, for me to try and see if I can hang with the SmackDown Women's Champion. Now it's got personal. Now I have to not only beat Dakota and take her title, I have to destroy her. 69. Tony did a really good job again. I've told the story of Tony Storm 1,000 times. She's really over. I didn't expect her to be as over as she is. So need to start giving her more matches. And she's now in the position where she can elevate people like Tiffany. So Tiffany comes out for a 9-minute 48 match with Tony. Tony wins, of course, strong 0. We have an 83, 30 for Tiff, which is a good match, considering the imbalance here. Then the main event, Sasha and India here. We needed a big draw for main event. Lita was on the desk, and Sasha's like, you fucking stay. Sanga's probably like standing right next to her, like just staring at her to make sure she doesn't get involved. And Sasha and Indy win ahead of their tag team encounter with Trish and Lita at Evolution. Sasha makes Anne-Marie tap out with a bank statement. 44 for Kelsey, 50 for Anne-Marie, 66 for Indy, and a 93 for Sasha. And that's the end of Heat and Raw. The next time you'll see Raw stars will be at Evolution. No, it won't. It'll be at King of the Ring, because King of the Ring's on Saturday, Evolution's on Sunday. But yes, we have one more show before then, though. That is SmackDown, where we'll find out the final SmackDown and King of the Ring and Queen's Crown finalists. See you then.